Well, hello. Hope you guys are all keeping well. So, in this video, I want to show a product, a Superior Labour product I bought from the Nomado store in Belgium. Now, I actually ordered 3 Superior Labour products from the Nomado store, which I've done in previous videos. I've got the A5 cover, and I've got the tool pouch as well from them. So I've done separate videos on that. I'll link them below in the description. Be sure to check that out. So as I was schmoozing before around the site and purchasing those two products I've just shown, this one caught my eye. I would just get straight to it. Now usually Superior Labour products come in a swanky dust bag. This one doesn't. Would have been nice if it did. But it just comes in your conventional plastic wrapping. So let's open this up. Let's move this out of the way. It's just got the paper label, and here you go. You've got a Superior Labour 15cm ruler. Now, according to the website in the Nomado store, this is made from raw brass in the traditional techniques at a Japanese factory. Now, I'm a sucker for brass things. I own a number of brass products. I absolutely adore that aesthetic, especially as it oxidizes, which this will. And this is raw brass, so it's not been treated in any way, shape or form. And obviously they've embossed. So I'm trying to pick it up with the correct lighting. Apologies, still getting used to this indoor filming. So we've got Standard and Strong, the Superior Labour, Leather & Co. And we take pride in craftsmanship and never skimp on time and effort. Which is more than can be said for my dating life. So, there you go. And it's pretty much straightforward. It's a 15cm ruler. So it goes up to 15 centimeters. And for the beloved Americanos, you've got 6 inches. Now, I've only just noticed it. They've done the inches in a bit of a weird way. So rather than going from left to right, they've done it from right to left. So, oh, sorry, there you go. Pick that up. So they've done it that way. Well, you just noticed that. No big deal, but it's a bit of a weird one. So technically, if you were to use it like this, I would imagine they would have written the numbers this way up. So I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one now. Not the end of the world, but I think in hindsight, they should have done that. They should have done 1 to 6 over here rather than going the other way. So yeah, I've only just noticed that. It's a bit of a weird one. Interesting. But I like the fact, and this is kind of a bit of a small gripe I have with rulers. We're getting into ruler territory here, people. But when you buy rulers, I've noticed that they will just have centimeters and not inches. And so I always like rulers with both centimeters and inches. Now, obviously, being in the UK and Europe, we use centimeters, but it's good to have inches as well as a form of kind of measurement. So even this one here, so this is like a W.H. Smith one. This is just, if you're not from the UK, it's kind of a very well-known high street brand of stationery and magazines. And look, it's got the, so you see what I mean? It's got the centimeters there and it's got inches here. On this side here. So but when you buy certain rulers, it doesn't have that, which is quite annoying. So yeah, so having the Superior Labour with that was just really nice. And the reason why I bought it is a bit expensive for what it is, I'll be honest with you. But you know what, I'm just building up a kit, which I will be showing at some point, of kind of brass related products. So I will just show a couple here. So we've got the brass Kaweco eraser, which actually looks really nice together. I managed to find a Rotring in well, it's called gold color, but that fits beautifully. You've obviously got, this is a Mitsubishi HB pen, the 9800 EW, which is goes together really, really nicely. So yeah, I really, really like the kind of the brown, natural kind of brass sort of aesthetic. And this caught my eye when I was buying the other two products that I showed just earlier. And so yeah, you know, it's obviously a bit expensive for what it is. Now in terms of bend, only a little bit of give, not much. And overall, I really like it. You know, the one thing I have noticed is, can you see the contrast here? Let's move that a little bit out of the way. You can see the contrast in oxidation. That's no big deal. That can go out. You can actually even just buff this out. What's that called? Brasso, brass cleaner. So you can, but I'm not bothered about that. As this gets used now, which it will be, it will all just take on its own natural patina. It's a beauty with brass. That's what I really, really like brass. But just to kind of compare this, right? So you've got a Superior Labor. You've got this W.H. Smith bamboo ruler. Now, this was a cheapo one that I bought from, I think it was AliExpress or one of those stores. But if you can see here, hopefully the camera can kind of pick it up. You've got centimeters in, you've got inches here. But you see how it's like the inches are written properly as opposed to the Superior Labor written in a bit of a wonky way. But this is like a really cheap one, completely unbranded. It's about an inch or so kind of shorter than the Superior Labor one. They said it goes up to 12 centimeters. But yeah, this was like dirt cheap. This is not brass. This is just, I think it might be brass, but it's quite a cheap one. You've got that there. And then I've got 3 Midori rulers, which I will be doing a separate video on. Because why have one when you can have 3 in different colors? And these are, actually they have a wood inner. And they come in like 3 different kind of varieties of colors, which is difficult to see in this lighting, but it does. But I will be doing a separate video on this. And this is also 15 centimeters. And so that's what you got there. And so another reason why as well I went for this kind of ruler is because it's brass. It's got a very slightly rounded, very, very slightly, so it hasn't got like a sharp edge, which is good, so you won't cut yourself or anything. I can rub my fingers across it, no problem whatsoever. It's ever so slightly rounded, but nonetheless it has got a kind of defined edge, which is great. So if I'm using like a Stanley knife to kind of cut, it's great because it presses up against here. So if I'm cutting up paper, ephemera, whatever, that's why I wanted this. Because the problem with things like the Midori and other similar rulers is a bevel, right? So it kind of goes down, right? So when you're putting your knife up against it, a little bit dodgy. So unless you're really slow, you know, you'll be okay. But with this one, when you're holding up the Stanley knife next to it to kind of cut, you know, you've got that defined edge. And that is it, guys. It's not really much else to say, dude. It's a ruler. Overall, I really like it. I think it's quite nice. I think my only gripe is the way the numbers are written. You know, it's written upside down, so you can only read it from this way if you turn it around. But then the one starts here and it goes up to 6 inches over here, which I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, but I'm not fussed about that. I very rarely use the inch way of measuring anyway. So there you go, guys. That is it. So the Superior Labor brass ruler, I had to sell a quarter of my kidney to buy these. Because Superior Labor products are not cheap, people. They're expensive. So, but yeah, these are the 3 products that I bought from the Nomado store. I will link to the product listing on the Nomado store. I'm not being sponsored. I have bought this with my own money. But overall, I'm happy with it. This is kind of those one-time purchases with this ruler. That's the way I'm justifying it to myself anyway. And overall, I really like it. I think it just goes well with kind of the overall aesthetic that I'm looking for, and especially with the kind of Superior Labor layout that, you know, I really, really like. So, you know, it kind of goes well. So there you go, guys. That is a wrap for this video, talking about the 15 centimeter Superior Labor ruler. Overall, I really like it. Yeah, one could argue it's a little bit expensive for what it is, but it's one of those things you kind of buy it once, and, you know, this is something I will be using daily, you know, ongoing. So, you know, as part of the whole ethos within this kind of stationary journaling sort of space is, you want to buy products that you like using, you know, that you get joy from. As I treated myself to this, once again, all these sorts of rulers were perfectly fine, but, you know, treating myself to something like this was that. It was a treat. So there you go. If you've got any any questions relating to this product, let me know in the description below. I'll try my best to answer. Like I said, I will put a link to the Nomado store listing. You can find out more about the product there. And like I said, it's where I bought it from. And they're an amazing store to deal with. Nomado store in Belgium. Amazing. Really have a really good collection of Superior Labour products. So, guys, be sure to check out the other videos on my channel. And until the next video, take care.